Hi all, welcome. Can I get a reaction? Can you hear me? Perfect. Give me just a second, I'll share my screen. Awesome. Well, welcome to our Eagle Village session. Today we're going to talk just a little bit about some different things within Eagle Village. We'll give you a chance to ask any questions that you may have regarding the building, and we will try our best to answer those. I'm going to get us started. My counterpart should be joining us here in a minute, but welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm one of the resident directors here in Eagle Village. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me in the clubhouse where my office is. I'm in 1303A. I don't know how many of you have been to the clubhouse, but essentially it's a circle. So if you walk around, you should be able to find the right area. This upcoming year, I'll directly oversee Building 1 and Eagle Educator. So if you're in that area, you'll get to see a lot of me. I don't know, Ainsley, are you on the call yet?
I am.
Sure. Go for it. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ainsley Hollenbeck. I use the she series pronouns. I just graduated from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville with the degree in college student personnel, which is basically just working with college students. And I'll be in Building 2 and working with our lab LLC.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Emily Harris. I'm the graduate resident director. I'm currently a grad student here at Georgia Southern. My pronouns are they, she, and you can also find me in the clubhouse. And I also oversee the Lead and Serve theme community.
Awesome. Well, this is the team that you'll see from us. We all have master's degrees or are working on our master's degrees. So we've been in your shoes in some way throughout the past few years. Again, our theme communities and our living learning communities that you'll see around here are Eagle Educators, Lead and Serve, and the lab. So again, if you're a part of any of those, we're excited to work with you. We just want to highlight some things with Eagle Village. So we're super suite style. So if you haven't got a chance to check out Eagle Village, I highly recommend you do so. There are some great videos and 3D tours that you can take on our website. So if you go to georgiasouthern.edu, I believe, and search university housing, you should be able to find those by clicking through the website. Again, we want to highlight a few things. So rooms that you may have, you'll either have a shared room or a private room. Your beds are twin size, they're extra long twin size. In case internet is important to you, you'll have Ethernet and wireless hookups here. In your units, you'll have refrigerators and microwaves already provided to you. We're community style for our laundry room. So each floor has a laundry room throughout the building. In case you're curious about safety and security, each of our rooms have a panic button. So if you're in any danger, you need assistance from University Police, there's a button that you can push and University Police will respond fairly quickly. We have a clubhouse, so that's where you find a lot of programming. We have a kitchen, we've got lots of games, gaming systems, that kind of sort of thing. We've got a computer lab for all of your computer and printing needs. You just access that with your student ID. We have a game room, so we've got a pool table and a ping pong table throughout our clubhouse. And then in your rooms, you'll have a set of drawers. And then additionally, we have a basketball and a volleyball court here. Here's some breakdowns of different sizes that you'll see throughout your rooms. This can also be found under Eagle Village on our housing website. near those tours that I was talking about earlier. In case you're curious about anything, our building does have 2, 3, and 4 bedroom suites, and then 2-bedroom, 4-person suites as well. So here's some measurements that you'll be able to take a look at. Again, this can be found on our housing website, so don't feel the need to write all this down. Feel free to take a picture if you need to, but we just wanted to provide this to you. Generally speaking, the layout of our building looks a lot like this. If you're looking at a 2D map, where you see E-lots, that's where Kennedy Hall is. There's another hall over that way. But generally speaking, this is our general layout. Some things I want to point out that we only have 2 elevators, so 1 in each building. So be cognizant of that. If you're looking for different things throughout our building, we only have 1 elevator, and then additionally the trash is over toward those elevators outside. So keeping that in mind. We've got parking lots pretty much to cover the entire area. So you'll be able to park in the clubhouse or near the building. Sorry about that. And if you choose to bring a vehicle to campus. Our numbering in our building is a little weird as well. So if you're looking for a room, something to keep in mind of is the first number is the floor that you're on, and the second number will tell you what building you're in. So if your second number is a 1 or a 2, those rooms are in building 1. And if your second number is a 3 or a 4, you're in building 2. So just something to highlight. As you're maybe getting your room assignment, that'll be really helpful for you to kind of find. We'll send a newsletter later on before y'all get here, right around the time you get here. And we'll throw this graphic in there as well. Something we want to highlight before we get into things you should and shouldn't bring are room decorations policies. That may be something that you're curious about. So essentially our policies when it comes to decorating your rooms and bringing items, we ask that you keep all of your items below 12 inches from the ceiling. That way, in case something were to catch on fire, our sprinkler system would be able to, make sure that we can maintain that. That includes the floor and the ceiling. And then you can't cover more than 50% of any wall in your room with any postings or decorations. So if you're trying to bring wallpaper, I encourage you not to, because that'll cover more than 50% of the wall. We have a policy for you to not hang anything from the ceiling, including or not limited to fishnets, parachutes, any type of dancing type poles, holiday lights, and flags. We discourage you all to not display alcohol paraphernalia. So that's things like funnels, beer bongs, shot dispensers, shot glasses, or other methods of alcohol delivery. You're not able to display those. We ask that you don't affix anything to the wall, the ceiling, or the floor in any manner that may create damage to the surface. You cannot display any item facing outward toward public spaces. So think about your windows. Some buildings have porches or balconies. So think flags, posters, illuminated signs. You cannot display out. We ask that any curtains or window treatments that you do bring have a fire retardant label from the manufacturer. We ask that you use low tack tape. So like blue painter's tape is great for you to bring, or any approved low tack hanging devices. So command strips. If you bring that blue putty, that'll really ruin our walls and you may accrue some damages. So we ask that you don't bring that. And then we ask that you don't affix anything to a fire rated door. So your main entrance door, we ask that you don't affix anything to that. That includes any sort of posters, decorations, wreaths, that kind of thing. You'll be provided some name tags that the RAs will provide for you. But other than that, we ask that you don't add anything to your door. We're going to go into a list of things that you can bring. Note that there are some caveats with this. So we have approved appliances that anybody can bring to campus in any of our residence halls. Those includes clothing steamers, irons with automatic shutoffs, coffee pots with automatic shutoffs, holiday decorations. So no more than 2 strands of lights may be strung together. and they must be UL approved. Again, making sure that you pay attention to keeping those below 12 inches from the ceiling or above from the floor. You can bring a toaster, and then you can bring a power strip or surge protector. We ask that there's only one per resident per bedroom and one per living room. And those also must be labeled UL approved. Those power strips are not allowed in kitchens or bathrooms. And then any window treatments, again, must be labeled fire or flame retardant. Approved items, other things that you can bring in Eagle Village include electric griddles, George Foreman type grills, panini presses, quesadilla makers, rice cookers, and then slow cookers and crock pots. So keep that in mind. We're going to go into not approved items. So not approved items are washers, dryers, freezers, mini refrigerators, refrigerators in general, dishwashers, air conditioners. Those things are mostly provided by the university. So we ask that you don't bring those. Unless you have some sort of medical need for those, then you're going to want to reach out to SARC. They're an office on campus and will be able to accommodate you as needed. Plumbing, water heating, and electrical systems aren't really necessarily designed for you to bring in those items, so we've provided the ones that we need to. Here's a list of not approved items. I see there's a comment in the chat that says, since toasters are allowed, are air fryers and rice cookers allowed? Air fryers are not allowed. I don't believe rice cookers are as well. That information can be found on our website. So not approved items, again, air conditioning units, air fryers, bed risers, candles, candle wax, burners, warmers, charcoal, gas, open flame grills, any daisy chained cords, deep fryers, electric frying pans, equipment with exposed wiring, extension cords, halogen lamps, hammocks, hookahs, hot plates, incense, large banners or flags or tapestries. Remember, we want to keep our walls less than 50% covered. Lava lamps and salt lamps are not allowed. Live cut trees or any holiday decor relating to trees are not allowed. Multi-plug adapters aren't allowed. New wave ovens, parachute or bed canopies are not allowed. Personal appliances, like we were talking about, so dryers, freezers, fridges, microwaves, refrigerators, washers, that kind of thing are not allowed. Any plug-in electric air fresheners, so think Glade plugins, the ones you may get from Bath and Body Works, those aren't allowed. We ask that you don't bring portable space heaters. There's no rope lighting allowed. Street signs, traffic signals, construction materials, and the like. Stripper or dancing poles or ballet bars, and then pressurized cooking devices are not allowed, such as Instant Pots. Fans are allowed, so box fans we brought in as well. So keep that in mind. Are there any questions regarding not approved items, things in the chat that you may want to ask? Now might be a good chance.
There's actually a few in the group chat.
Yeah, I'm only seeing a few. Like I said, toasters are allowed, air fryers are not, fans are allowed. There are blinds provided in your rooms, so keeping that in mind. You can put up curtains as long as they have that fire label on it. So you can't necessarily bring appliances such as microwaves, refrigerators, that kind of thing. Keep that in mind. The bed height information, let's see. Bed height, I don't know if it's on this list. Generally speaking, you can lower or raise your bed as needed. on the latches that we have. You can put in a work order. So keep that in mind. You should reach out to parking if you have questions about parking passes. However, you're going to want to make sure that you are in the right lots when you park in Eagle Village. So J lot, C lot, E lot, that sort of thing. But you can reach out to parking for any parking questions. I'm not quite sure about 2 cars when moving in. There should be more information coming out, as well as an OMI website that you can check. So we don't have lofts in Eagle Village. However, the beds are pretty high for the most part. You can raise them or lower them as needed. Yeah, for Wi-Fi, you just log in with your student credentials. We have campus Wi-Fi and then device Wi-Fi. So if you bring any items like an Xbox, let's say, you can connect it through there, or a smart TV. But there's more information on how to connect that on our website. A lot of the times you can go back to that website and circle around, and it'll tell you how different items that you'll be able to connect to. Laundry is free. It's included within the housing fees that you pay. So you don't need to necessarily bring quarters or cash. We're getting a new laundry system this year, so I'm not exactly quite sure how that's going to work. Last year you needed your student ID to swipe to make it work. From what I do know, there should be a laundry app, but the new company that we have coming in will we'll let you know. There's not a table necessarily for eating near the kitchen. However, there are high top stools that you can sit on. There's a little ledge in your kitchen area. So we ask that you don't mount any TVs, and you shouldn't mount any TVs. However, you will be provided a table in the kitchen, or sorry, in the living room area that you can mount your TV, or you can set your TV on. We ask, so there's a question about a shower head. Unless you have an accommodation, we ask that you leave all of the things in your rooms and in your bathrooms how you found them. Yeah, not all rooms have those linen closets. I don't know the exact measurements of those, but if you go ahead and email me, we can see if we can find those. Yeah, there's no certain time you have to be back to your rooms at night. You're all adults at this point, so you're free to do whatever you would like. Caveat to that, we have certain times in the year, such as closing time, that we'll ask you all to not be in the building or register to stay. So keeping that in mind, but generally speaking, once you're here, you're free to do whatever you would like, as long as you follow our policies and regulations. Yeah, so you can have guests. We have policies on that as well. You'll go over that with your RAs once you get here. So the halls aren't necessarily monitored. However, we have staff that will be available for you if you need any assistance. I'm not actually sure the height of the ceilings on the first floor. Really depends on where you're at in the building, but they're pretty tall. There should be a shower curtain provided for you. However, if you want to decorate your own or bring your own, you're able to. There's not necessarily a shower door, but there should be a curtain. Yeah, there's a bus that'll pick you up right near Eagle Village, and will take you around campus on different routes that we have. You can walk. Campus is pretty walkable for the most part, but there are buses that go around campus. Yeah, we're still finalizing what our policies look like this year. So as of right now, I'm not quite sure on the guest policy, but the university is moving back more toward a normal sense. So hopefully you should be able to have guests, but stay tuned. I haven't heard much on that yet. Yeah, the bus schedule can be found online.
Georgia Southern actually uses an app called PassEgo, where you can just download it on your phone and it'll show you the schedule of the bus. PassEgo, I'll type it up.
Cool. There's an elevator in each residence hall in Eagle Village. It's on the Georgia Southern side, or sorry, the Georgia Avenue side of the building. So it's not on either side, but there is one per building. There's not a laundry room on the first floor, actually. Our laundry rooms are right off the elevators on the second, third, and fourth floor. So if you are on the first floor, you do have to go up to the second floor. Yeah, I encourage you to bring anything that you might need. So plates, cups, utensils. However, know that you'll have a meal plan. So if you need to bring plates, cups, utensils, those are really up to you. Awesome. Yeah, so on the first floor, there is a lounge that you're able to access, and there's a kitchen on each floor. There is a small nightstand, I believe, in each of the rooms, or a table that you can use as a nightstand. Awesome. Yeah, so our laundry rooms that we have in the building aren't necessarily a laundry mat. They're self-service, so you do your own laundry, but they're open 24/7. As long as there's washers and dryers available, you're able to use those. Cool. I'm going to move on to some slides. Feel free to keep asking questions. I'll circle back toward the end. Something I just want to highlight is safety. So again, safety is really important on our campus. We have staff on call each night. So we have staff that walks the building to make sure that there's no emergencies or anybody needs help. You have somebody that you can go to. University police is quick to respond to incidents as they happen. They tend to patrol the areas, walk the building, say hi to students. They're great folks to get to know. So just because they're in the building doesn't mean there's anything wrong. They're here to make sure that everything's going all right. Eagle Village is an interior building, so your doors are in a hallway. So you need your ID to get into the building, so you can swipe that. You shouldn't necessarily be giving out your keys, your ID to other folks. So your ID is programmed for your building. If you are in an exterior building, at any point, we do have deadbolts on those doors. And then, like I mentioned earlier, there are panic buttons. So within each room, so if you have any issues or need assistance from University Police, and can't necessarily make a phone call, you can press those buttons. We have an app called the LiveSafe app. I highly encourage each one of you to download this. It's a great tool that we have on campus. So you can do a safe walk program through there, so you can let University Police see where you're at while you're using the app or using that service, and they can make sure you get to your location safely. You can report anonymous tips. So if you have any concerns, you can make phone calls. There's lots of things in here. I highly suggest each one of you download this and make sure you have it on your phone. It does not track you. However, it is an app that we can use to make sure there's safety escorts. But you can do that just by downloading LiveSafe and then searching for Georgia Southern University. And then just something I wanted to highlight as well is Operation Move-In. I believe time slots are slowly rolling out, so you may be getting emails about those. Our big move-in day is the 6th and the 7th. Some folks may be in some other programming, so you may be moving in early. You'll get information on that as it happens, so make sure you're paying attention to your student emails. That's how the university communicates with you. But if you want to scan that QR code, it'll give you lots more information on Operation Move-In, things to bring, things you may need to know about that. Awesome. I'm going to continue with questions. Feel free to put them in, but that's all we have. So if you have any other questions, I highly suggest checking out our georgiasouthern.edu website. I believe I said that right, or Georgia Southern website. You can search for it on Google, it'll pop up. Check it out, search for Eagle Village, search for university housing. There's tons of information on there. I highly suggest each one of you check it out if you're curious about other things we didn't get to today. But at this point, we're going to leave this open for any questions. Feel free to stick around and ask those. Feel free to keep putting them in the chat. But that's all we have for you today. We'll keep asking questions and we'll try to answer them. So,
in reference to the can we order food to be delivered to our dorms, there are no limited hours, so you can order like your DoorDash or Uber Eats, but you'll have to meet the DoorDasher like at their car or in the parking lot because they won't have access to get inside of the buildings. I would say the Wi-Fi is pretty secure. There's more like in-depth information about like our router systems and like what the service of Wi-Fi we have on campus, like on our IT website. But I've never truly had an issue with it. I don't think anybody really has here. But there's more information about like our Wi-Fi on, you can find it on this university's IT website.
if you're looking for residence hall insurance that you may have gotten when you signed your contract, you can reach out to the housing office and they should be able to assist you with that.
A chair does come with the desk to answer that again.
Yeah, your mail, I see a question about mail, will go to a centralized location on campus. So there's a postal services area that everybody will be assigned a PO box to, and you pick up your mail there. It is in one of our dining commons, so it's an area that you'll frequent. So you can go there. Males and females are on the same floor. However, within each unit, they're generally same sex or same gender.
I would say EV's kind of far from the rec center. It's a pretty good walk. I would recommend taking the Gus bus over there or driving because students are allowed to park in the rec center parking lot. But it's a pretty hefty walk. So I would not recommend walking there and walking back after a workout.
So you're not necessarily assigned a specific spot when it comes to parking. However, you'll pick the lot that you'll park in and you'll have to park in that lot. So you'll purchase essentially a specific pass. So for example, a J lot pass will allow you to park in any J lot. Speaking of that, there's only a few lots like labeled those letters. So keeping that in mind.
Somebody asked, is there a what to bring list on the website? Yeah, if you go to the Georgia Southern Housing website, there's a tab under Operation Move-In that says what to bring, and it'll give you like a list of suggestions of things that your students could bring on campus with them. Somebody asked about dorm insurance. So it's usually renter's insurance. So I personally have my renter's insurance with my car insurance. I have USAA. So if you just type into Google, most of the time, like you can find some sort of renter's insurance, or if you want to do that through like whatever insurance service that your guardians or whatever your family uses, I would recommend just using that.
So parking permits are by license plate. So you have to park rear facing so your license plate shows. That way, if you pull through a parking spot, you potentially can get a ticket and most likely will get a ticket. But I'm trying to find on the parking website some more information about parking for y'all.
Someone asked about email address we used to obtain hall linen closet. I mean, most times if you're trying to like get into Georgia Southern systems, you'll use your GSU email. your student email. But to get on the housing website, there shouldn't be any type of like restriction or anything like that.
I have a question directly to me. It says meal plan is included with housing. So you have to purchase, you're required to have a meal plan as a first year student or a freshman, and you have to purchase that separately. You get to have a choice of different meal plans, but I would encourage you to check out the dining website and see what meal plans that you're looking for. Additionally, making sure you check out your Wings account and see what's been charged already. Yeah, the floor kitchen's a full kitchen. So you've got an oven / stove, a dishwasher, a sink, and a refrigerator in the community kitchens.
Somebody asked about tapestries. Tapestries are on our not approved list, as well as flags.
Tapestries tend to take up more than 50% of the wall. Yeah, so we're getting new washers and dryers. So I'm not exactly sure how many will be on each floor. Last year, there were, I think, 4 or 5 washers and 4 or 5 drivers per floor. And you can go to any floor within your building to do your laundry. So if all of the laundry units on your floor are being used, you can go up to the next one or down to the next one, depending on where you're at. Because our first floors don't have laundry units, so they have to go up to other floors to use those.
Somebody asked a question earlier about like work orders. Work orders, usually the time it takes to complete them usually depends on like the time that you put it in and also like what you want completed. So I would say during like the first week or first 2 weeks of move in and being on campus, I would say unless it's a serious emergency, give maintenance some leniency, because most students are putting in, most communities are having hundreds of work orders being put in each day. So it really just kind of depends what it is and what time of the year like you're putting in your work orders. But I would say most of the time maintenance really tries to take care of work orders, especially simple ones, pretty quickly or as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so you can hang up your own wall art. You can do that through a couple different things. We recommend 3M strips or command strips or blue painter's tape. Those are really great things to hang up on the walls. Just know that if you do any damage to the wall, you're responsible for that. So just because we tell you these items aren't allowed, know that they can damage the wall. So I just caution you. There's not necessarily a limit for how many posters you can hang up in your bedroom walls. However, you have to keep it less than or 50% or less covered on that wall. Plants are allowed.
Sarah, somebody asked something about diffusers. I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure on that one.
We can definitely get back and let, if whoever had the question about diffusers wants to DM one of us their email, we can definitely get back to you on that.
Yeah, fish are allowed as long as they're in a less than a 10-gallon tank or less. And I believe it's only 1 fish tank per unit. So keeping that in mind. Yeah, the second number tells you what building you're in. So let me rephrase that. The first number tells you what floor you're on. The second number tells you what building you're in. So if you have the second number as a 1 or a 2, you're in building 1, and the second number in building 2 is a 3 or a 4.
Somebody asked about lights. Only 2-strand lights. So those are like Christmas lights, essentially. So if they like mimic or look like Christmas lights, then yes.
Under the bed dimensions, if your bed, I believe if your bed is as tall as it can be or is raised to the highest level, your dresser should be able to fit underneath that. But I don't know what those dimensions are. Let me look.
Somebody asked about cell service. I want to say there's an AT&T here and
I have Verizon.
I have
pretty well.
Sprint. I don't like Sprint. I think Sprint is not great, but my phone works. So I don't know how helpful that is.
Yeah, the dresser height I have is 30 inches, so about that underneath the bed. Yeah, there's a bunch of banks nearby, local banks that you can bank with, some national banks. If you Google banks near Georgia Southern, you should be able to find that. Yeah, there's staircases in our building. So there's staircases on each end and then a staircase on one of the corners.
I think somebody earlier asked about the clubhouse kitchen. It is a full kitchen in the clubhouse.
Yeah, so the A, B, C, or D at the end of your room number tells you what actual bedroom you're in. So when you go ahead and move in, you're going to want to make sure that your room number and the letter of the room that you're in corresponds to the actual room that you're moving in. If we ask that you don't change that up. If you're looking for a room swap, you're going to want to go talk to the housing office. But generally speaking, your key that you will get will only open your bedroom door and then the front door. Housing assignments are still coming out as well. So if you're not quite sure of your room number, those are happening. I believe there's a housing portal that you've all been maybe using. You can check that out as well. Cool. Are there any other questions? Otherwise, we're going to wrap up here soon. Awesome. We hope this is helpful. We try to answer questions as best as we could, knowing that lots of questions are specific, but thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. Like we said, check out that housing website, click around. There's tons of information on there. But we will try our best to get those answers to you. I know a few of you have reached out to us and left your messages, so we will get back to you and hopefully try and find an answer. But our emails are on the website, so if you have more questions, you can always reach out to us. We're happy to help. Our leadership team is in training right now, so it may not be a quick response, but we'll try and get back to you. So, awesome. Thanks for joining us today. We hope to see you all soon.